Sai Ram students. Today we are going to learn an incredible topic, that is information transfer. I hope students you all are ready with a notebook and a pen to write down all the important points that we are going to study today. Now, what is an information transfer in writing skill? Information may be in the form of text, picture, graphs, flowcharts, tables, etc. The conversion of information from one form to another is called as information transfer. Alright, let me make this easy for you all. Information transfer means transformation of any information, that is from a paragraph into a diagrammatic representation, which is also called as verbal to non-verbal, or from a diagrammatic representation into a paragraphs, which is also called as non-verbal to verbal. Isn't it easy? Okay, let us understand in one more simple way. Verbal means paragraphs and non-verbal means a diagram, right? It's easy. So now, let us start with two main types of information transfer. The two main types of information transfer are verbal to non-verbal and non-verbal to verbal. In this session, we will concentrate on non-verbal to verbal. But before that, we will quickly recollect verbal to non-verbal, which we had already done in an earlier session. There are few rules that need to be followed when we are transferring information from verbal to non-verbal. Like, read the given paragraph, note its important features, give an appropriate title, transfer these features into different forms as per the question, draw neat and accurate diagrams, draw with a pencil and write with a pen. Now let us understand these points first. In a verbal to non-verbal, paragraph will be given. You need to read the paragraph very carefully. Or you can say, you need to concentrate while reading. And then, according to the question, you need to convert into a table or a pie chart or a flow chart or a tree diagram. Whatever the question is asked, accordingly you need to change it. Now students, before that, according to your understanding, you need to give a suitable title, and your title should be based on the theme of the paragraph. And remember students, always draw the diagram with a pencil and write with all the points with a pen. Understand, you cannot use any color pencils or any sketch pen or any kind of colors. Students, let us understand this verbal to non-verbal with an example. Then we will start with non-verbal to verbal, which is our main topic. Now students, there will be a question given and you need to read the question very carefully. Like in this case, the question is, draw a tree diagram to represent the following. Now, let's first read the paragraph. The word literature is really hard to define. Many interpretations are made about the word, but all are incomplete. Some states that literature is the mirror of life. Some others say that it is the criticism of life. Whatever may be the controversy about the word, we may say that literature is that which reflects life. The branches of literature are poetry, drama, novel, and short stories. Poetry is of two kinds, imaginative and realistic. Drama is either a comedy or a tragedy. Novels are also of many kinds, historical, psychological, realistic, scientific, and regional. Short stories is that one which stands very close to life in spite of a little scope. Alright, student. After reading, make a note of some important points, like in this case, words or sentences like literature is really hard to define. Many interpretations are made about the word, but all are incomplete. Some states that literature is mirror of life. Now see this point, mirror of life, correct. Mirror of life. Then some others say that it is the criticism of life. Now again I am getting point like criticism of life. Then whatever may be the controversy, but the word we may say that literature is that which reflects life. Now again I am getting a point over here, my students. See, reflects life. Then the branches of literature. Now see here, again there is a point, are poetry, again here poetry, drama, novel, and short stories. Then see, now this is another point which I am getting. Poetry is of two kinds. Poetry, then it is talking about kinds like imaginative and realistic. So again I have got points. Then drama is either comedy or a tragedy. Now this we can make another branch, as we know that we have to make a tree diagram. So drama, comedy, and tragedy. Then novels are also of many kinds like historical, psychological, realistic, scientific, and regional. So again I am getting another branch like novel, and novels kinds are historical, psychological, realistic, scientific, and regional. Then short stories is that one which stands very close to life in spite of a little scope. So again we can make one more branch for short stories and very close to life and a little scope, correct. Now let's see further. Students, this is how we will frame the answer, or you can say tree diagram. Now, there are certain steps which we need to follow while drawing. Like whatever we had marked in the passage, arrange them into a chronological order. You can number them in your mind or you can number them in the paragraph chronologically. Remember, the points might not be in a proper order in certain paragraphs, but you need to organize the points in a proper sequence. Count the number of points and accordingly start drawing the tree diagram. Now, when we say tree diagram, we understand that it will have number of branches. Correct. Now, remember students, you will put only keywords in the diagram and do remember to put proper arrows. And one more important point, do not forget to write the title as it is very important. Like in this case, the title is literature. And then you need to draw proper arrows which will show the flow of information about the literature. Like in this case, literature is the topic given and it shows it is mirror of life, it reflects the life, then it is criticism of life, then it also says branches of literature, or we can say it is talking about the branches of literature, that is poetry, drama, novel or short story. Now we can see further there are more branches for each points, like poetry are having two branches like imaginative and realistic. Can you see this? Then drama have again two branches like comedy and tragedy. Now see, further we have short story and we have given a branch like close to life or little scope. Then further you can see novels have further branches like historical, psychological, realistic, scientific and regional. I hope students you all have understood this example of tree diagram. And now let us understand and learn the information transfer from non-verbal to verbal. In non-verbal to verbal, a paragraph will be given and you need to represent it or convert it into various forms that suits your question. Now, there are different kinds of representation like maps and plans, graphs, tree diagram, pictograms, flowcharts, family tree, pie charts, web diagram and tables. Now let's understand the advantages of non-verbal representation. Let's see the first point. Quick viewing of a large amount of data at one glance. Oh yes, of course. You will be getting the question in any diagrammatic form, wherein points will be written So, isn't it easy to have a quick view on all the points? Yes, it is. More accuracy of data is possible through graphs. We'll read the next. Comparison or division can be done in one go. Here we understand whenever you get any form of table or anything else, it becomes easy to differentiate. Stimulates quick analytical approach to huge text. Yes, when we get a question in any diagrammatic form, we can quickly analyze it and then we can easily convert into a paragraph. I hope students, you all have understood the advantages of non-verbal representation. Now, let's understand some important tips while transferring non-verbal to verbal. The first one, read the given graph or a diagram or a table, or it can be in any form. Then, the second one is give an appropriate title. Yes, student, this is very important. You have to give an appropriate title to your paragraph. The next one, a logical sequence of information should be followed in the paragraph. Yes, a proper chronological sequence of the given information should be followed in the paragraph. The next one, cover all points, use variety in sentence. Students, you cannot just copy whatever is given in the diagram. You need to use variety. You can use some stunning sentences to have a good impression while reading. Now, the next one is one paragraph. Now, what do we understand with this one paragraph? Students, you need to write in one paragraph. You cannot write any irrelevant points. Topic sentence. Now, students, this is something very important point. The first two lines of a paragraph is called topic sentence, as it let us know what is the diagram all about. A topic sentence summarizes the main idea of a paragraph. Now, this is also known as focus sentence. I hope students, you all have understood the tips for writing non-verbal to verbal information. Yes, of course, you will understand better with an example. So let us see example and understand this in a better way. Look at this flowchart. It's so easy to understand. This flowchart is about Jawaharlal Nehru, born on 14 November 1889. Went to England at the age of 15. Educated at Harrow School and at the University of Cambridge. Returned to India in 1912. Practiced law. Joined the Indian National Congress in 1919. Became a leader and arrested 9 times. President of Congress Party. And the last point, Prime Minister of Free India. Students, you will be getting a question like this. Look at the following flowchart and write a paragraph on the important events in the life of Jawaharlal Nehru. Now, here the first thing, we will read the flowchart thoroughly. Then, we will understand the chronological sequence given. Later, we will frame the points into a proper sentences in our mind or in any rough book before we finalize. Then, we will use varieties in a sentence. Remember not to add any irrelevant points. Now, think of a suitable title and start writing the paragraph. Remember students, as I said earlier, the first two lines of your paragraph should summarize the main idea of the given topic. Now, look at this answer. The topic is Jawaharlal Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru was born on November 14, 1889. He went to England at the age of 15 and was educated at the Harrow School and at the University of Cambridge. Returning to India in 1912, he practiced law for some years and in 1919 joined the Indian National Congress, the principal nationalist organization in India. He was led by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi at that time. Nehru soon became a leader of the nationalist movement and was imprisoned 9 times by the British administration for his activities that were pro-independence for India. He served as president of the Congress Party from 1929 to 1931, a position he held 6 times. In August 1947, following the final withdrawal of the British and the establishment of India as a self-governing dominion within the Commonwealth, Nehru was elected Prime Minister. I hope students, with this example you all have understood how to write information transfer from a non-verbal, that is a diagram, to a verbal, that is a paragraph. Oh yes students, this is one more fantastic example. You will get question like, look at the following diagram and write a paragraph on reasons for the failure of students. Also write the ways to improve their situation. Now, let us analyze the web diagram carefully. Now, the main topic given is reason for the failure of students. Now, let's look at this. Wasting too much time in playing games, lack of proper study habits, TV and films, lack of motivation, lack of environment, lack of proper guidance, low aims, bad company. Now, students, can you think of some different topic for this web diagram? The topic given here is reason for the failure of students. Students, you can definitely give your own topic, but yes, it should be relevant to your question. Okay, now let's read this answer. The failure of the students in the examination is a very serious matter. There are many reasons for their failure. The students do not have proper study habits. They read without understanding. They spend their holidays and spare time in watching TV. They ignore their study for the sake of TV, films and serials. Parents also do the same. there is no motivation, they cannot improve themselves without motivation. Environment is also very important. Today, lack of proper learning environment also comes in the way of their success. Proper guidance to the students will help to overcome the problem of failure. But there is no proper guidance. Low aim is a crime, and this happens with the students today. Students fail to achieve success because of the bad company and wastage of time in playing. The failure rate can be minimized by proper guidance, motivation, strong will, keeping good company, developing proper study habits, and not wasting their time in playing games and watching TV. I hope students, you all have understood this concept very well. Now let's read this answer. The failure of the students in the examination is a very serious matter. There are many reasons for their failure. The students do not have proper study habits. They read without understanding. They spend their holidays and spare time in watching TV. They ignore their study for the sake of TV, films, and serials. Parents also do the same. There is no motivation. They cannot improve themselves without motivation. Environment is also very important. Today, lack of proper learning environment also comes in the way of their success. Proper guidance to the students will help to overcome the problem of failure. But there is no proper guidance. Low aim is a crime, and this happens with the students today. Students fail to achieve success because of the bad company and wastage of time in playing. The failure rate can be minimized by proper guidance, motivation, strong will, keeping good company, developing proper study habits, and not wasting their time in playing games and watching TV. I hope students, you all have understood this concept very well. Oh yes, students. Now it's time for activity. I will read the question for you. Look at the following graph. It shows the result of SSC exam of HD High School. Write a paragraph giving all the information of SSC result. Students, you have to write the answer in your notebook and you need to submit once the school reopen. And of course, yes, your home assignment. As you all know, students, you will be getting a link. You have to complete your home assignment and then click on submit. Alright, student. With this, we end our today's session. See you again. Sai Ram and take care.